Hello, my team and I hope you're having a good day. In this experiment, we're going to examine the conservation of the energy, but based on Maxwell's wheel. The members of this team are Luis Alejandro, Alexis Emanuel, Iran Tenorio, and Dana Paola. The Maxwell's wheel experiment is aimed at the investigation of conversions between potential energy, linear and rotation of kinetic energy. Physical facts can be classified by the interaction with their environment as isolated and non-isolated systems. In non-insulated systems, there is energy transfer with the outside of the system. However, there are no such transfer in insulated systems. Therefore, the local energy is conserved in insulated systems. Maxwell's wheel is suspended from threads at both ends of its axle in such a way that it can roll along the threads. In course of its motion, potential energy is converted into kinetic energy and back again. For this reason, Maxwell's wheel is used to demonstrate the conservation of chemical energy.
Experiment aims: confirm in a certain way the conservation of energy. Respond to the different unknowns that manage to go from theory to practice. Determine the moment of inertia of Maxwell's wheel. And demonstrate the conversation between kinetic and potential energy. Materials: we can build a homemade Maxwell wheel with a piece of string, a stick, a plastic stopper, or the lid of a jar and a base.
Maxwell's wheel consists of a wheel with an axle through the center that can be hung by a thread. The movement of the Maxwell disc is similar to that of the yo-yo. The thread of the disc is clamped on a spindle, and then the threads are wound on the spindle. If the disc is released, we see how it falls spinning on its axis. When the disc reaches the end of the thread, a bounce occurs and the disc ascends, turning on the axis.
When the disk falls, gravitational potential energy is lost by loss in height, which is transformed into translational kinetic energy due to the movement of the center of mass, and rotational kinetic energy around the axis that passes through the center of mass. The disk reaches the end of the thread, the translational kinetic energy is transformed into elastic potential energy as the thread deforms an inappreciable length. This elastic energy is then transformed into upward translational energy as the thread returns to normal length and the disk begins to ascend. On the way up, the translational and rotational kinetic energy of the Maxwell disk is transformed into gravitational potential energy. The loss of mechanical energy due to friction prevents the disk from recovering its initial height. The motion of the disk continues until all energy is lost to friction. Thank you for your attention. This was Maxwell's Wheel experiment.